Welcome back to Dead to the Co. This is Chris. It's about 7:30 a.m. here in Las Vegas. Still running on East Coast time, so I was up at about 4 a.m. Vegas time and went to bed at 12 a.m. Vegas time. So I didn't get much sleep last night. Not an intentional friend of the devil reference right there. But yeah, I mean, it was a great night one at the Sphere for 2025 residency. I would say similar to 2024, just right off the bat, getting into it, but still really exciting, still a lot of fun, and overall a great experience. I'll be there again tonight. I have GA floor tickets, so I'm going to try to get there earlier. I don't think I'm going to be riding the rail or anything like that. I didn't get selected for first entry, but still hopeful to be close to the band. I've never been in the general admission area before, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But just getting into last night's show, Give Me Some Lovin' to start us out. I believe that's the first time they've played Give Me Some Lovin'. Spencer Davis Group cover. I think Sam Cooke played it in the past. Grateful Dead played it from what I was reading on Reddit. And it was really fun. A great opener. That riff, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. That was really cool. So similar to last year, they didn't lift off yet in Sphere. They played "Give Me Some Lovin'" with the kind of construction-looking backdrop behind them, which I've grown to really like. I like starting out the show that way before you get into the real immersive experience. They lift off with Mississippi Half Step, similar to the first show last year when they also lifted off with Half Step. This was beautiful. One of the highlights of the night, honestly. I have a solo that I posted on the Dead to the Co Instagram that John did, and it's beautiful. So check that out. I saved it to the highlights, so even if you're listening to this after today or whatnot, you'll still be able to see it. Half Step was great, excellent. 10 out of 10. We're going to Bertha afterwards. This was a lot of fun. They threw up some new visuals for Bertha, kind of this pixelated rainbow dancing bear mashup. I was talking with my dad about it, and I think we both agreed we've heard better Berthas before, but this was still a really fun song. I mean, Bertha's always a lot of fun. And they go into New Speedway Boogie, which had some cool visuals. I'm not sure if they were new or not, but it was kind of like a glassy road. Not the rainbow road, but more like like I said, a glassy one. So New Speedway Boogie was good. The energy kind of was dipping at this point in my section. There were a lot of people sitting down. My dad and I were standing, of course. The guys in front of me were standing, so I had to stand. So the people behind me had to stand. That's how it works. But some of the energy around us was a little quiet, not going to lie. But then we go into Brown Eyed Women, and that got a lot of people back up on their feet. This is, of course, one of Dead & Company's, I would say, signature performances. They do a really good job at Brown Eyed Women. You have John and Jeff communicating, like always. And, yeah, not much to say other than this was a great song. And they also played in night one of last year as well. So they did do a few repeats of night one last year for those who may have been at that show. We go into Good Lovin'. So that was really fun. They have Give Me Some Lovin', then they have Good Lovin', kind of similar songs. And Good Lovin', not right after Bertha, but still following Bertha in a set. And this was very tropical. It was a good song, and it was really well done. And then we end the set with Don't Ease Me In, which is one of my favorite set one closers. It always has been. We had some new visuals for that. And, yeah, I think Don't Ease Me In is a great way to close out the first set. It's just high energy. It's quick. It's punchy. And it gets you into the second set real good. So then we did a set break. My dad and I went to the Curve Bar in the Sphere and got some Voodoo Ranger IPAs in the commemorative Dead & Company cups, which I have over there. Should have brought them over for this pod for those that are watching on YouTube. but different from last year. Last year they had kind of the spacey Star Wars almost type theme. This year it's more of the retro throwback black and white theme, which I really like. A few notes here during set break. Dead Forever Experience, they don't have that this year, but they do have a really high quality merch store in the Venetian. They have plenty of merch lines in the Sphere as well. Some really cool posters, some cool shirts. I really like one poster in particular with a purple bear hitting the slot machines. I didn't purchase one. They had a foil available, but it was $90 or $100, and that's just so much to drop. And not to mention, you have to get a frame for it, because if you're going to spend that much on a poster, you want to keep the poster in nice condition. So I didn't purchase one. I didn't purchase a shirt either. My dad did get one. But I might hit up Shakedown Street today outside Tuscany for those that are looking for it. And I might get a shirt off Shakedown. I always like kind of those shirts more than the official tour shirts, if I'm being completely honest, even though I am wearing 2021 tour shirt at the moment. And overall set one, my highlight moment would have been Half Step. I thought the solo at the end again was beautiful, so check that out on the Instagram at Dead to the Co. I'm not just saying that to plug it. I genuinely think that was a great solo, and Half Step would have been my highlight for set one. Taking a coffee break. All right. Set two, we start out with Feel Like a Stranger. So this opened night one last year, so they opened set two with it this time instead of the show. Always fun when Bob's saying it's going to be a long, long, crazy night and you're in Las Vegas. This was a fun set two opener. I thought John was shredding. Shredding's kind of a funny word to say for that song because it's a very psychedelic, Shakedown Street-esque guitar playing. But he was riffing hard, and it was really nice. John sounded great on Feel Like a Stranger. Scarlet Begonias into Fire on the Mountain next. Always good when you get Scarlet Fire. They had some creepy new visuals for this one. Teletubby-esque weird people holding up TVs at the screen. It was creepy, but it was good. A few notes on this. Scarlet sounded really good, but the highlight was absolutely Fire on the Mountain, and this may have been the highlight for the second set for me, although that's tough. I thought this second set, first set was a 9 out of 10, second set was a 15 out of 10. I loved set two of this show. Fire on the Mountain was excellent. So they start out with Oteil singing, which is normal. Then they go into Bob. And so I've actually never heard Bob sing Fire on the Mountain live. So I turn to my dad and I say, okay, they're probably going to John verse 3. They did. So that was just really fun to just pass the ball down the line. And then they go to Mickey for his rap. So he gets two different verses. And the crowd loved it. I loved it. It was really, really fun. And just a great way to set the tour. I thought Mickey actually all night last night was really locked in. He sounded young, youthful, full of energy. He was feeling it during Give Me Some Lovin'. At the beginning, they showed him on the screen, giving some eyes, and everyone was into it. So Mickey might be my low-key, one of my MVPs of the night. I say one of them because Bob sounded really good, full of life. John, of course, just doing his thing. Jeff doing his thing. Oteil and Jay doing their thing. Great analysis, right? So Fire on the Mountain, excellent. Beautiful. Well done. Then we go into my favorite song at the moment, which is Terrapin Station. This was maybe my highlight after Fire on the Mountain. We got some cool mountain visuals into the dancing bears, into this psychedelic, terrapin-esque, spinning, rotating sphere. You know it. It was really, really good visuals to match up with the audio. That may have been my visual highlight of the night. And Terrapin felt a little bit faster than usual, like a tick. And I've been really digging John's acoustic performance of Terrapin Station at, I think it was Music Cares. I'm getting all the Gallows and stuff confused in my head. But it sounded similar to that. Of course, Bob takes with inspiration, and the riff at the end is always the climactic part. So you gotta love a good Terrapin Station, especially after a excellent Scarlet Fire. I mean, and to feel like a stranger beforehand. They started off really strong. They go into drums in space. Drums in space are fun in the Sphere, especially drums. You could feel it, the energy, the vibrations, and the visuals were paired up well. On drums, we had Mickey, Jay, and Oteil. And then nothing really probably notable to say about space, honestly, except we go into Standing on the Moon, and this was beautiful. Bob absolutely crushed it. Something about standing on the moon in Sphere just feels right. I guess it's the spherical shape of where you are. It feels like you're standing on the moon in lots of ways, and the lyrics of this song are beautiful. They panned the camera back out to like the rail in the front row and the GA, so they were up on the screen. I don't know if they did that last year, but that was really nice when he's singing that, you know, he wants to be here with you. So Standing on the Moon was emotional. It checked all the boxes, and it kind of grounded the set after getting like really spacey and psychedelic at the beginning of the set. And then we get a surprise Althea. I say surprise, I just didn't expect it here, but Althea had a few interesting moments. John was changing up some of the vocal lines in it, and yeah, it just sounded really good. Fun fact about the Sphere, you can hear the music excellently in the bathrooms. I had to go to the bathroom during Althea, and you can hear the music very well from there. So that was cool. I didn't feel like I didn't miss anything. So if you have to go when you're at Sphere, don't be afraid. You're not going to miss too much, at least if you're in section 302. We go into Going Down the Road Feeling Bad after Althea. Anytime you get Going Down the Road, it's a great night. This is my highlight visual. They had the skeleton come out of the grave in the US Blues gear, riding his motorcycle. He ends up in Las Vegas at the end. That's my highlight visual. I know they had it last year, but that is really immersive and really a lot of fun. So to hear Going Down the Road Feeling Bad with that visual was really good. And then we closed the set before getting into the last song, which was kind of an encore, except they didn't leave the stage. But we end the set, excuse me, with Knocking on Heaven's Door, which they ended set 2 with last year, night 1. So like I said, many callbacks to that opening night. This was good on multiple levels because, you know, you have Phil, who recently passed away, and I wouldn't say this was particularly dedicated to him, at least from what I could observe, but I think a lot of people were thinking of him. Of course, thinking of the other members of the Grateful Dead that we've lost along the way. You know, I was thinking of family members that I've lost along the way. Not to get super reflective and dark, I guess you could say, on this, but it's not dark. It's just reflective, and Heaven's Door always just puts me in that place where I'm very appreciative of where I am and who I'm with and who's been there along the way. So Heaven's Door was beautiful. Great Bob Dylan song. You know, great way to end the set. You know, I just get emotional just talking about it, honestly. Then we get a video clip. On Setlist FM here, it says featuring Phil Lesh. You know, I think that was Phil was the silhouette in the window kind of dancing. I don't know if that was, again, an intentional dedication to Phil or if that just happened to be the video clip that was played and was made beforehand. But yeah, we return to San Francisco. Similar to last year, you start in San Fran, you go into space, you come back to San Fran. And it's a really grounding way again to end the second set when you come back to San Francisco. And you hear that touch of gray bass line. Bum 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 bum. I can do the whole thing if you want. Absolutely a fun way to end the show. Check out the Instagram. Have a clip of Touch of Grey, the We Will Get By part. Everyone sounded good. Everyone felt good. Sphere was loving it. It was a rocking way to end the show. I was hoping they'd have one more. My dad and I were calling out for an encore as if they could hear us from Section 302. But again, like I said, that was kind of their encore. And yeah, just final notes. You know, they didn't play Box of Rain. I know a lot of people were hoping for that in tribute to Phil. They might play it tonight. They might play it Saturday night. Not a song that Dead & Company regularly rotates, so maybe they won't play it, and maybe they're dedicating the shows to Phil in a different way. But it would be nice to hear them play that song again in tribute to Phil. What else? I'm excited for tonight. Just some predictions, I guess. I think we might open with Music Never Stopped or Shakedown Street. I think we might get Deal. I would love a Sugar-E. I don't think we'd get both of them, but, would love to hear one of those. Would love Friend of the Devil on the set break. Last night they had the curtains come across the screen, and then if I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight, which could be a teaser. It could just be they rotate lyrics and just put them up there with no particular rhyme or reason. But as we know with these things, there's always a rhyme and a reason. So setlist tonight should be interesting. Maybe a China Rider in there. I'll be GA Floor and try to hit up Shakedown beforehand. We'll see. And yeah, just looking forward to another day here in Vegas. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow before my flight out. I'm unfortunately not going to be here Saturday night. But I'll be back tomorrow for another episode recapping the show from last night. If anyone else was there, let me know what you think of the show. Let us know on social, on YouTube. And hope you enjoy your stay in Las Vegas. If you're just tuning in, not in Vegas, just curious. Hope you enjoyed this little insight into night one of 2025. We're lucky to have Dead & Company still going and still going strong, drawing these large crowds, filling up Sphere. It's an experience that I never thought we'd have. To be honest, who would have thought Sphere would be a venue in the first place? So for 10 years, it's a great way to celebrate 10 years of the band. I, like many others, have been around since day one of Dead & Company, and boy, has it been a success. That all hit me last night again. Just who would have thought, that this band could get here. Obviously, the Grateful Dead could be here, but for a legacy band, they've really come a long way and established themselves as a force in their own right. So just all around feeling appreciative and grateful, and happy to be here and excited for night two. So thanks for tuning in to Dead to the Co. I'm going to hit the town here in Vegas, try to get up a little bit more in blackjack. I'm up about $40. My peak was 60, and then I lost $20 after the show and called in a night. So I'm not playing with big money or anything, but just trying to get enough maybe to snag a poster or a few t-shirts at Shakedown or something like that. So thanks for tuning in to Dead to the Co. We will see you tomorrow, or maybe the next day, but hopefully tomorrow, to recap tonight's show at Sphere. All right, thank you.